News. Why can't we have anything nice in Vegas? News coming out of Las Vegas. The Baltimore Ravens have backed out of the MAXX Crosby trade due to MAXX Crosby failing a physical up to their doctor's standards. What does this mean for our Las Vegas Raiders? It means a lot, an awful lot. This could be horrible. This could be okay. This could be very, very bad. But it sure the hell is not good. The Raiders were already counting on having a number 14 pick, is why they went out and spent the money they did. Now, with the MAXX Crosby news, MAXX Crosby returning to the Las Vegas Raiders, that is $30 million back on our $62 million that we have left, which leaves the Las Vegas Raiders with $30 million. Players that are still not signed. 14, almost $15 million in free agency. I mean, in rookie money. The Ravens just screwed the hell out of the Las Vegas Raiders. Very, very badly. Very badly. The Raiders have to reschedule, reflip. Are their teams going to be interested in MAXX Crosby? There's still some reports, Dallas Cowboys, maybe, but they weren't offering 2 first rounds. I don't see any scenario where the Raiders get 2 first rounds for MAXX Crosby. With that being said, the Raiders have said they are not trading MAXX Crosby unless they get what they want for Crosby. Him being back in Vegas is going to be wild, bro. Wild, wild, wild. You say Flock Nation, and now I don't know how you could be welcomed back. I really don't. I mean, I'm out. Play for us or not. That 98 jersey in there is staying on the shelf. I'm just saying. Flock Nation? Man, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Don't let anybody tell you different. This is bad. Bad, bad, bad. What do y'all think, man? What's your thoughts? You can't say Flock Nation and then come back. He's got to go no matter what. Shout out to everybody in the building. The OG Lawrence. Man, Sacktown Raider Mike. What's good, my guy? Appreciate you in the building. Stefan, what's good? What's good? I was good until the Ravens shattered my hopes and dreams, ripped the heart out of my chest with the oh man. I was banking. I was banking on having 2 picks in the first round. This is one of the main reasons I started getting in on the Mendoza train. It didn't matter. We didn't have to trade back. We had 14. We could have traded back there. We could have stuck and picked. Now, I mean, we could still possibly get somebody's first round pick and still have 2 first round picks in this year's draft. But that's even very, very unlikely. Are the Raiders willing to trade Max, knowing that he's not worth what they thought he was worth? I just don't see it. I don't see it. But what are y'all's thoughts? How do y'all feel about it? Are the Raiders going to be in debt? Question after the signings, they are done. Yeah, I mean, they spent a bunch of money. Some people are saying we're at 50. I'm taking it from the guys that, that do this every single day. They say we're at 62 million. So if Crosby comes back, that puts us at 32. Like I said, you have 32 million to make it through the season, to bring in, I don't know how many more guys. We're at 61. The Raiders roster right now, out of 90 guys that we need for camp, the Raiders are sitting at 61. 62 with Crosby coming back. So, you do the math. We're at 62. We need 28, bro. 28 guys we have to sign on $30 million, $32 million, 14, almost, we'll just say 15. 15 of that goes to rookies. That leaves us $15 million to bring in 28 players. I mean, but calm down, because we got players we can restructure. There's players they can, trade for, release. There's ways they can get that money back. More than likely, Max is going to be traded. I mean, you can't go back on a trade once the dude's already out of town. You know, the Flock Nation, all of that. I just don't see a scenario where he comes back. The Bears wanted him, right? Are they back in the running? They went and got a defensive end. They just went and paid a whole bunch of money. The Cowboys, they just went and got Rashawn Gary. And now it's not finalized. Are they going to back out of that? Dude, this could lead to a whole bunch of deals having to be redone, right? I mean, the Raiders just volunteered to pay. I mean, they got to pay Gino $16 million. They traded him to the Jets for a pick swap of 7 to 6. So we got a 6th round. They take 7 and Gino, but we're paying Gino $16 million. Does that trade fall through? Do the Raiders say, "Look, we're not trading Gino. We're just going to release him"? Is it a better way? Is it better to go that route? There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions. This can go a lot of ways. So yeah, right now as it stands, they're not in debt because you still got 30 mil, but some of that is already allocated, right? And from what I'm hearing, is some of the deals are still not on the books for the Raiders. So some of that money is going to come off, which does put us at like 50, which would put us at like 20, which would put us really at 5 because you got to have somewhere at least 15 million for rookie signings. Did you see Crosby backed out of the Ravens? Yeah, it's horrible, horrible. We are gonna take good care of him. Guess not. I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. Jesus loves you. What's good? My name is actually Steve. Is it what? Cool, Steve. I was gonna call you Sullivan, but Sullivan. I probably said that wrong too, man. Probably said that wrong too. Steve. Falcons are bums. The man, Falcons are bums. I don't know. I don't know. You're not happy with the Tua signing? Did you want him to keep? Did you want him to keep? Who they have over there? How was the Max thing? Well, it didn't go good. This is just another day in Raider fan. Yesterday, the sun is shining. Cheeks clear. What the hell? Scare clouds? What? Clear skies today. Tornado. Shaking my head, bro. I feel you 100%. Let's hope the Cowboys get Crosby. They offered the Raiders a 1st round pick, but they rejected it. Yeah, they offered them a first, a second, and a player, I do believe. I mean, that might be your best bet. Somebody, they're going to have to pawn them off on somebody now. And they're going to have to take, less than what they were offering. It just messes up everything. It puts everything in a tailspin because, they might look at some of these contracts that they sign and be like, "Yo, Jason Ruiz, what's good?" Right? There's no way we can pay this guy. And if we end up losing any of the guys that we brought in, I'm gonna be upset. I think everybody we brought in is gonna help this team, especially the linebackers, bro. We cannot lose. We cannot lose Quay Walker. We cannot lose. We cannot lose any of these guys. Naylor. We cannot lose any of them. Marcus Banks, what's good, my guy? Only 51 count against the cap. Yeah, but Spy Tech is the man, bro. I believe in Spy Tech. He's got something up his sleeve. I'm sure he'll figure something out. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up somehow just trying to work Crosby and keep him if they don't get what they want. So what happens? Does he come back? Work out with the Raiders? Question. I'll send him to Cowgirls. Yeah, I mean he'll be back. I don't. He'll be back in the building. He's still under contract. You know the trade didn't go through. He's still a Raider. So it's like it never really happened. Basically, trade Colton Miller. They're gonna. I mean, they're gonna have to do something because this just changes the whole draft plan. It changes everything, right? The Raiders were planning on having another first round pick. I guarantee you, they were planning on moving Max this whole time, and this was part of their plan. So now their whole plan changes because now you're getting Max Crosby back, who can't pass a physical, which they should have known he can't pass a physical. And I think the problem is the Ravens, they lost a whole bunch of players, and they said, man, we can't afford to give 2 first round picks for Max Crosby because the reports were he got a meniscus trim, right? That means they just cleaned it up, you know, got all the whatever shit growth that was building up on, I guess, on a bad knee repair or whatever. But then the reports came out is that he had it fully repaired, which makes it go from weeks recovery to months recovery. Now he's already ahead of schedule. And the Ravens already knew this, right? So I don't think it has anything to do with the physical or Max Crosby. I think they just started listening to all the people on ESPN and NFL Network and everybody talking about the trade, how they lost the trade, and they probably changed their mind. Especially when you lost Lindenbaum, you lost your fullback. Who else did they lose? They've lost a lot of players already, so they might have redid their math and said, "Look, we just don't have the money in the capital to be able to give up 2 first round picks. They might need that first round pick this year." And then on the other hand, you have the biggest one, right? And I think this is the reason. Trey Hendrickson is not signed yet, which means if nobody took a chance on Trey Hendrickson for that $30 million he wants, does his money go down and does he sign for a cheaper deal? And I'm sure the Ravens are like, man, if you can get Trey Hendrickson for 30 mil or Max Crosby for 2 first rounds and 30 mil, which route do you go? Which route? Which route do you go? We ain't going to get shit from Max now. Some teams might be still willing to take a chance. I mean, you got to look at it this way. There's 31 doctors and 32 doctors in the NFL, right? For these teams, there's 32 teams. Each one of them have their own doctor. Every one of them has their own standards. Maybe some teams will feel like, man, this is a good trade, right? It's Max Crosby. You still have to look at who he is, what he's done, what he's capable of doing, even injured. I mean, the dude had 10 sacks last year with a messed up meniscus. That's not easy, right? It's not easy. So somebody's going to be willing to take a chance, but it's not going to be for 2 first rounds. Now, you might get a first and a second. Is that worth trading Max Crosby? That's the biggest question. A warm dumpling is pleasant at the moment, but a cold love for all days. Indeed, what in the hell are you talking about? The Raiders suck. T. Alexander. That's not nice. Reports saying Cowboys are out on the Max Crosby trade, so where does that go? Bengals, Jets, or keep him? I don't think the Jets are in, and the Bengals just went out and got, I do believe, an edge rusher. Where's my phone? I think the Bengals just went out and got an edge rusher. Now, they could back out of that deal also because we heard Joe Burrow throw a fit that Max Crosby was going to be dealt in the division to the Ravens. Now, Joe Burrow might be saying, hey, let's go get Max, right? The Ravens don't want him. Let's stick it to the Ravens in the division. Let's bring Max over here. I mean, what do the Bengals got to lose? So they could go that route, but let's see who they got. Who did the Bengals sign? Oh, they just got Bo Mafi, dude, 3 year, $60 million contract. That's 20 M's a year. Do they go get Bo? Do they go get Max Crosby too and pair him with Bo Mafe? They also just signed safety Brandon Cook to a 3 year, $40 million contract. They also re-signed Jalen Davis, running back, and cornerback Jalen Davis and running back Kendall Mitchell. So with those signings and looking at the cap for the Cincinnati Bengals, unless they're willing to give up their first round pick this year and next year, I don't see them getting Max Crosby. And I don't know if they have the money. Let's look at the Bengals cap. The Bengals are currently they are at 40 mil right now. So they have 40 mil. I don't believe they could take on Max Crosby. Now, if they trade their first round pick and move some things around, it's possible. That leaves the Jets. And I don't really see the Jets or Crosby going to the Jets. Oh, the Cowboys have signed cornerback Sam Howell. What? Oh, sorry. I got a text I have to answer. So, man, I don't know. I don't know where that leaves us. Raider Nation, Jason, what's good? Raider Night. New max trade value is half a sandwich and a big gulp. It's starting to look that way, bro. It's really starting to look that way. The Raiders are going to find a way where they're not going to lose anyone and still have Max Crosby. I think they want that first round pick though. From the little birdie in my ear said they had big plans for that pick. That pick was gonna. They had big plans. Let's just say that they had big plans. Maybe I could talk about it later. I don't know, but Raiders won't go back in deals like that. Only Ravens pull that crap. Yeah, it's kind of shitty of them, man. And this ain't the first time the Baltimore Ravens have done that. They've backed out of trades before because of physicals. So they're known for pulling that. And what's messed up is the Raiders, um, their GM and Spytech were supposed to be close. Can't trust anybody. Can't trust anybody. The new look, Mendoza Raiders. Void Payne and Koontz. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. You might have to void the Payne contract and the Malcolm Koontz because you can't afford Malcolm Koontz. That's a damn good take right there. Shout out to my guy Mac in the building. I mean, you pretty much can't afford $11 million for Malcolm Koontz at this point if Crosby comes back. I just don't see that being a thing. But if Crosby does come back, he doesn't fit in a 3-4. He doesn't fit in the 3-4 defense. Are we going to change the defense because of Max Crosby now? I mean, we have in the past, I guess. Mass posted a picture of him on a jet coming back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, bro. Nobody at 14 I was in love with. They weren't staying at 14 though. That wasn't the plan. That wasn't the plan. There's three guys that they really, really, really want. And to get three of those, or two of those, or to get three of them, you got to have two first rounds, from what I'm hearing. And that's just going to change everything. But they have a board. They could switch it up, right? You can go another way. But that just makes, when you're already halfway through a process, right? When you're spending 10, 12 hours a day on a process of picking, where you're going to pick and what guys you're going to take, and can you trade back, with who can you trade back for, right? Trying to project of where the draft is going to fall, who's going to be there at 14. Is there somebody at 14 going to fall to a team that wants that guy, right? Like say Jeremiah Love, just for instance, falls to 14. Is there a team that wants to move up for Jeremiah Love at 14 and is willing to move up? That's sitting somewhere at 20, 21, 22, and the Raiders could jump back a couple spots and pick up a second round pick. I think that's been the plan all along, right? We've heard a couple of people say, the Raiders had big plans, and I think those were the plans. Max to the Bears for 2 7th rounders. Oh, I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. His knee can't pass a physical. Can't tear up his contract. Do the Raiders that? I mean, do the Raiders do that? Do Raiders do that? Do they say we don't want him back because he can't pass a physical? That would be crazy for the Las Vegas Raiders and John Spytek. But I mean, with the way things broke down, right? Talks about him not happy with people in the building. Alex Guerrero, Tom Brady, the way he was sat down, the person that told him he was sat down, the way he got told he was sitting down. All of that shit didn't sit well with Crosby. You can't just fix that. So that might be a possibility too. You might have to rip up his contract and be like, yo, we're going to have to renegotiate that contract, or I don't know what. Did you see MAXX CROSBY is back? It's out for the Ravens. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Any Odell Beckham news? I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody takes a swing at him. What happened to Max? The Ravens reneged. They said, no, 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 we don't want Max. Obviously, had something to do with a physical, which we could still get a first round pick. I believe that. I believe somebody like, somebody like Detroit, which I think Detroit maybe just went and got a first round. Just went and got a new edge rusher as well. But maybe a team like Detroit, maybe the Arizona Cardinals, maybe they're looking for somebody. I think they just signed an edge rusher. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of edge rushers in this draft. You still have, like I said, Trey Hendrickson on the market. That money's going to drop. Nobody's willing to pay him $30 million a year, obviously. So he's going to have to take less. First, Pigs. What's good, my guy? How are you? First and a second deal with the Lions is my preference if it's an option. Yeah, I mean that's what the Cowboys offered, and the Raiders declined it. So I mean, maybe now they're in a situation with the way everything's happened that they have to go that route. I want to see Odell Beckham to the Giants. That that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, you got neighbors over there. You have who they just signed. They just signed somebody. I mean, yeah, you have a pretty young receiving core over there. To have a veteran like that in the building wouldn't be bad. Do you think they freaked out since they never traded first round picks before? I think after, with all the news and everything that's been going on, I'm sure, they're listening. I'm sure people are calling. And with the players they lost, like I said, there could be a million reasons. There could be a million reasons. Maybe Max Crosby got in the building and the vibe wasn't there. That could be it too, right? Maybe he came in like, hey, we about to do this, do that, and people were like, whoa, 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 we already have leaders. You don't know. You don't know. It could be anything. And all it takes is for them to say he didn't pass our physical, right? There is no physical. It's not like you hold your nuts and cough, right? At a doctor's office. They're not asking you to, you know, do jumping jacks or run or doing all this stuff. Like they know he's already in rehab. So failing a physical is basically just saying we have a way to back out of the trade. We made a mistake. Trade him to the Browns for a second round pick. That's never gonna happen. Yahoo Sports just said Dallas is in play. I just got a report saying that somebody just said they weren't in play. Dallas did offer a first and a second and a player. That's what I heard. So I don't know. I'm a Raider fan. I like you, brother. I think you're overthinking this. Max is a Raider. Jeffrey Walker was good. Um, I don't think we're overthinking it. Max didn't want to be a Raider. That was the whole reason they traded him, right? Isn't that how this came about? They're like, yo, Max don't want to be here. There's problems with people in the building. He even said it himself when asked directly, are you good with everybody in the building? He said, I'm good with everybody for the most part. He couldn't even say it. So bringing him back at this point just seems unrealistic, in my opinion. Trade him to the Browns for Sanders and some picks. Oh, Lord have mercy. Jets fan, big Jets fan. Are you in on the Max Crosby deal? Do you have any pull? Raiders should trade Crosby to the Browns for next year's first round pick. Do it out of spite of the Ravens. That's what I said. I mean, somebody in the Ravens division, can you please go get Max Crosby, whether it be the Browns, the Bengals? I don't care. One of y'all. One of y'all. Just please go get Max Crosby so he has fire, you know, to put it to the Ravens. He was all pumped up about going there, right? You seen the videos, him smoking cigars, celebrating, going to the Baltimore Ravens, right? Flock Nation. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. If you give me Max, I'll give you a Big Mac. Go Bills. A Big Mac. That's all he's worth now. Damn. We still had 70 million in cap space after all the signings. Actually, according to Over the Cap and Spotac, it's $62 million, and there's two deals that aren't completely done yet, that aren't on the books. So that leaves us at 30 if Max comes back. 32, with 15 of that has to go to the draft, to rookies. That's not even counting UDFA's. I'm still shocked that trade got canceled. Bro, I'm 51 years old. Just turned 51 a couple days ago. This is the first time I've ever heard of a trade of this magnitude with a high profile player with two first round picks involved and a team back out. I've never heard of it ever. So everybody's in shock. My top 10 at wide receiver? Um, I don't even have a top 10 list with, unless I got the list in front of me. I would go Denzel Boston, probably Carnell Tate, maybe Jordan Tyson. I'm going, I don't know, maybe Malachi Fields. Um, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people in there. There's a lot of people in there. KC Concepcion might be somewhere in there. This is no order. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. It changes on the daily. Makai Lemon's somewhere, obviously in there. I just don't know where. You know, a lot of people think Makai Lemon's going to be a Raider, especially since we had the 14th overall pick. A lot of people had him, you know, dialed in and pegged for that position. But we already have guys like Trey Tucker that's that size. We just got another guy in Naylor that's, you know, that almost that exact same size. We don't need three guys, you know, 5'10", 5'9", 5'11". We need a guy that 5'11", 6', 6'2", that can be that X receiver. So if you're in on the Makai Lemon deal, that might not even be on the table no more whatsoever. I don't have my book. Wait, hold on. Maybe I do. What have I got here? What do I have here? Nope, that's edge. That's tackle. Nope, wrong book. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm stuck there. I like a lot, man. I like Stribling. I don't know. A lot. Western Conference was good, my guy. Was good. Yeah, shit is crazy. Crazy. What do you think about it? The Jets just won free agency with trading Gino Smith. He won't win a Super Bowl. What? What? Oh, he will win them the first round pick. Go Jets. Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. It's funny that Geno Smith, you know, is being signed to get teams the first overall pick in the draft. If you need a quarterback, sign Geno. Sign Geno. You look like Walter White if he got high on your own supply. I don't even know who the hell that is, bro. Trade Max, trade up for Jalen Carter or AJ Brown. Why does everybody want Why does everybody want Carter? I don't know why everybody wants Jalen Carter. I mean, look at his stats. Yes, he plays in the middle, but I mean, everybody calling Tyree a bust. That dude could play at least all over the line, and his stats aren't much different than Jalen Carter. But y'all want to give up what, a first round for him? First and a second? Hell no. Hell no. AJ Brown, great receiver. Definitely could be an X for a lot of teams, but you know, is he the problem in the locker room with the Eagles? Is it the Eagles? Is it him and Jalen Hurts? Is it Jalen Hurts? We don't know. So I'm not taking a chance of giving up a first round pick for, you know, not knowing the situations. And if you're, you know, a team, I guess you can call around and find out what the situations are, but who do you believe in those situations, right? Y'all just let Crosby get picked up by Dallas. Jerry Jones only wanted to risk it uh, for someone failing a drug test. He did not fail a drug test, bro. Shut up. MAXX CROSBY been clean for years, bro. Um, what's up, my guy? Happy Tuesday. Cool boy in the building. What's good, my guy? We still want Mags here in Cowboy Land. I mean, that's somebody's got to want him. Somebody's got to want him. I don't see it working in Vegas. I mean, half the fans have already written them off. Half the fans were jumping up and down that we got 2 first-round picks and Tyler Lindenbaum and free agency, right? Raider fans were going crazy. Other ones, you know, that get attached to players that are emotional to players instead of being attached to the shield, you know, they're probably all crying. They're probably still crying. Now they're probably throwing parties, smoking cigars because Max is on the way back to Vegas. But it's just a sticky situation now. You can't trade a guy because he doesn't want to be here, and then he has to come back because the other team don't want him. Do you hear how that sounds? You hear how that sounds? You hear how that sounds? That's like kicking out a girl, your girlfriend, and then her having to move back in because, you know, she ain't got nowhere to go and nobody else wanted her. one of those Baltimore picks. Now's best time to trade him and maximize value. Yeah, I think everybody was, pretty much had their minds set on having two first round picks from, that 14th and then a pick next year. So, I mean, damn, the Raiders might not even went and got Mendoza. They might have went and got somebody else. Who knows? They might have went a whole nother route. A whole nother route. We went from having probably one of the best off seasons in a decade in the first day to having it explode overnight, bro. Overnight. Overnight. The Ravens looked at the players that we got to come to Vegas and the players that they couldn't come to Baltimore, and they said, "Oh hell no. Oh hell no. We're not doing that." I'm grateful for MAXX CROSBY, my guy. We're all grateful for Max, but now it's to the point where, I mean, you said Flock Nation. Come on, you were excited as hell to be here. You even went as far as saying, I want out, but maybe I'll come back one day, like before I retire. That's none of that goes away. I mean, if people accept that, that's fine. That's fine. I can't tell y'all what to accept, but for me, nah, bro. Max posted a picture on a jet heading back to Vegas. I wonder if Sean Payton paid for that jet. Sean Payton, head coach of the Denver Broncos, was so happy to lose MAXX CROSBY, he offered to pay for a private jet to get him there. I wonder if he's paying for him to get back. My Cowboys pick up number 12 and 20 in the first round. The Cowboys weren't willing to give up 12 and 20. But if they did, the Raiders would have to jump on that all day, bro. All day long. His doctor said he was healthy. Ravens are dumb. I mean, he's not 100% healthy. He's rehabbing, right? He's rehabbing. He even said he just showed a picture, I think it was 3 days ago, a day before the trade, where he was walking, shooting basketball, saying no, no crutches. We'll be back, all that stuff. So he's not 100% healthy. But the Ravens knew that going in. So what did they see when their doctor, evaluated him that the Raiders doctors aren't seeing, or whatever doctor he's going to in California? What are these guys seeing? Is there something there with MAXX CROSBY? That's another question that nobody's asking. Is there something there? Is there something there that the Raiders doctors are just overlooking because, they're just overlooking because they know MAXX CROSBY is going to play either way and he's under a $30 million contract, and they were hoping Baltimore, would just overlook it? I don't know. I don't know what the physical entails. I don't know what they were looking at. Were they doing x-rays? Were they making him bend his knee? Are they just going by projection, right? Are they looking at inside of his knee and saying, damn, the inside of your knee is pretty messed up. We don't think you're going to make it another 3 years in the NFL, right? There could be that too. But like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an owner. And I don't know. Well, I mean, I know kind of what they do in the physical, but every doctor's different for every team, right? Like I said, every team is going to have their own standard, their own limits, of what they think somebody's body is capable of, long term or short term or all the above. I mean, Micah Parsons got traded for 2 first rounds. He went to Green Bay. He was fine. He tore his Achilles. So I would give Max to Dallas for a first round pick. What? 12 in a second round and a bag of hot Cheetos. I would trade MAXX CROSBY, honestly. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would trade MAXX CROSBY at this point just because, he already said he don't want to be here, kind of. But he was also acting like he was surprised he got traded. So you know, if they're trading him and they have to trade him, a first round pick is not that bad looking at the situation, right? Depending on how many other doctors are gonna, whatever team he goes to trade, they're gonna do the same evaluation, the same physical. Do they even ask, does it have to be 12? Can it be 20 in a second round pick? 20 in a third, 20 in a second and a third, a second and a fourth. I mean, if Dallas calls the Raiders and say, we'll give you 20, our second round pick, which I don't know what that is, and a player, I mean, at this point, that doesn't sound too bad. And you mean dumb decisions? Okay, that's fine. What? The Ravens didn't even check his knee. They checked him for colon cancer. That's wrong, bro. Why you make me read that? Um, Cowboys don't have a second. Well, then, what did they offer him then the first time? A second next year? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. He thinks Alec Guerrero knows something. That's um maybe, maybe it would make sense, right? It would make sense. He's the trainer. I don't know how much of a doctor he is, but I'm sure being uh, a physical trainer, I'm sure you know how to evaluate the way joints move, bend, twist, stretch, right? So maybe he did know something, and maybe that's why the Raiders said, we're trading Max. See you later, my guy. Happy Tuesday. Cool boy, appreciate you, my brother. Happy Tuesday to you as well. Let's go, Raiders. I think Ant is a hater. What did Ant say? Maybe our owner's dumb? You're a huge Raider fan? Nice. Shout out CJ Productions. Um, yeah, crazy, crazy situation, man. Crazy situation. So maybe the Raiders, like I said, maybe they just decide it's not worth it. Do they still receive phone calls? They're gonna look, they're gonna listen, right? Do they receive phone calls from other players? Or do they cancel contracts? I mean, contracts that aren't done yet. Do they back out on the Payne deal, like somebody said earlier? Do they back out on the Malcolm Kuntz deal? Those are all very, 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 very um, high percentage of a lot of that happening. A lot of that happening. There might even be player. I mean, really, again though, the MAXX Crosby just doesn't fit right now. He don't fit. You went and got a Mike, a green dot linebacker, right? You went and got a green dot linebacker. Shout out Faded Raider, 1 year. Let's go. Celebrate. I'm about to celebrate right now. What you talking about, Willis? Don't you ever say those words again? The cerebral assassin will go nowhere. 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 He's all we have right now. He's all we have. And if MAXX Crosby would have just had his back 2 years ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation because he wouldn't want to be traded. We'd be winning, and we wouldn't have no problem. It'd be no problem. No problem, Holmes. So man, I can't wait to see what happened. Happy year. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Wait, why are you gifting me for being here a year? I should be gifting you. But damn, I thank you for the $20 smackaroo. Appreciate you, appreciate you. I'm glad you've been here for a year. I think you're here like pretty much every time too. That's loyal. I appreciate your loyalty. Absolutely 100%. More than you know. That's some loyalty. Tom dismantling the whole team. Yeah, man. You know, I was going through some pictures today because I was deleting shit off my damn computer because it's not working, and I really can't figure out why my volume and why my microphone just goes away after like an hour and a half into the show. Because that's usually what happens. But the last time I restarted it and it worked for 20 minutes, but I think it was already hot. So, anyways, you're excited for next season? Nice. I'm excited for next season too. I was more excited when we had, pick 1 and 14. But anyways, I was flipping through pictures and I happened to see a picture of Oakland Stadium. And I ain't gonna lie, it kind of brought a tear to my eye. I was like, damn, Daniel Carlson's not coming back. MAXX Crosby's gone. We have AJ Cole and Colton Miller. And Lawrence wants to trade Colton Miller. There's two players left of where this all started, of where this started, right? The family shit. Only two left. Oakland. That's crazy. Well, Max is coming back, so for how long we don't know. But yeah, I was like, damn. It was 4. We've talked about it on the channel before, right? Only 4 Oakland Raiders left. They just keep dwindling. We thought it was, 2. Now it's back to 3. And I'm sure probably in the next couple of days it'll probably be back to 2 again. We never know. Unless you just have to decide to keep your guy. Nice. Cool. So, Spy Tech, man. I don't know. I don't know what they got to do in the front office, but I've been watching this and I'm not seeing nothing popping up. No breaking news of no teams being interested. Nothing popping off. I thought there would be at least a whole bunch of news saying, yo, this team is interested. Nothing. But we do know MAXX Crosby is back in the news once again. The Raiders just can't get out of the news, bro. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, we just can't get out of the damn news. And it was good for a day or two, but now it's back to the same old Crosby talk. What else y'all want to talk about? Who we got? Let's do this. I hate not having a computer, man. I want to go live on a damn computer. I could do so many other things. Let me do this. All right, man. So where you guys got these guys numbered? Um, where do you have them listed? Let me know. Let me know. 1 through 10, 1 through 15. Where we got? I'm gonna start at 15. Ted Hurst. Great size, great ball tracking skills, pretty damn good at route running. I was surprised at the combine. I'm tired of standing up. I'm gonna sit my ass down. I was surprised at the combine. Very, very surprised at the combine. With his athleticism, Um, I had him in my top. I think I had him in my top 10 before. If not, he was right out of it, like 12, 13, somewhere in there. But let me know. I'm gonna say the player. You put the number. Just put a number next to his initials. TH, right? TH, Ted Hurst. 1 through 15. Where y'all got him? Next up is Jacoby Lane from USC, right? A big target, high potential, was doing big things over there. Some people got him in, I think, just out of their top 100. Some people have him in the top 100. I haven't looked at everybody's top 100 list or top 50 list. I don't know if he's any of those in any of those. Might be though, might be. Well, where y'all got him? 1 through 15. Next up is Antonio Williams out of Clemson. Great route runner, right? Physical, a guy that can catch the ball. Um, Third round, Jacoby Lane. So just outside of your top 100. I got you. I got you. But Antonio Williams, man, stood out at the Senior Bowl. Was a guy that was all over the damn field, even in the practices. Was that Antonio Williams? But anyways, you know, reliable cat, technical. I think I had him at number. I don't know where my list is, bro. I need to go get it. Um, but Antonio Williams, where do you have him? AW. AW. What number? 1 through 15. Then some people have Elijah Surratt, right? Elijah Surratt, Indiana won a national championship, gets absolutely no love. I have him in the top in a I have him as a first round pick. I don't know why he wouldn't be a first round pick with the back shoulder catches that he makes, the way he's always open, the way he runs routes, I think is underrated. You don't have to be a 4-3 guy in the NFL to make it, you know. Just ask cats like Justin Jefferson, just ask uh, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Just as you know, uh, Armand St. Brown. You could ask a lot of cats, right? None of these, not everybody, to be a great receiver. Devontae Adams. We could go on and on and on, right? You could ask a bunch of these NFL players to be a top 100 player in the NFL. Do you need to run a 4-3? No, that's Mike Williams, Mike Evans, right? 1,000 yards every single year. I don't know what he ran at the combine, but I know he wasn't running that, and he ain't running that now. So, anyways, Elijah Surratt, man, I think is highly underrated. I tell you right now, I've talked about it a million times. I've had Omar Cooper in the first round since shit, probably week 3 of the Indiana season, of the college football season. I watched the first 3 games. Watched him last year with Curtis Rourke, who he made some great catches with Curtis Rourke to make him look like a number one first round receiver, first round quarterback who got drafted in the 7th round, by the way, to come in and have Mendoza throwing the same routes, the same plays to the same man, Omar Cooper, and making Mendoza looking like he's a first overall pick too. So Omar Cooper, Elijah Surratt. I don't know where y'all got them. I'll tell you where I got mine here in a minute. Um, my guy says, what? AS late 4th or 5th round pick. AS. AW, you mean Antonio Williams? Or ES? Maybe, I don't know. Oh, as late as 4th? I don't know. Chris Gonzalez is the best corner in the. No, yeah, I know. And the Raiders could have got him. They could have picked him instead of, taking a chance on a guy with a messed up foot and Tyree Wilson. They 100% could have. But Elijah Surratt, I think needs more love. He's definitely in my top 10. He was right at 10. And, you know, the more I watch and start to think about it, he very well could be, 7 or 8. I mean, I think he's totally underrated and overlooked because it was Fernando Mendoza throwing him the ball, and he's the first overall quarterback being talked about, and everybody's looking at how great and accurate Fernando Mendoza is, but none of these guys that are analyzing these guys are saying, but damn, Omar Cooper with these catches, damn, Charlie Becker with these catches, right? Elijah Surratt with open or not, he caught everything. He caught everything. So two guys that I have a lot higher than a lot of people. Jeremy Bernard, very athletic, versatile. Kind of reminds me of a guy that the Las Vegas Raiders let go, and Jacoby Myers. I think that's kind of my comp for Jeremy Bernard. If you look at his game, right? Very good in short yardage. He can block. He's a guy that, you know, I've seen pancake people, laying people out. Um, so just a physical guy, hard hat guy that makes a lot of catches, can stretch the field if he has to, but just just always I thought just always caught the ball. I thought he made Ty Simpson look very very good. Um, so yeah, versatile wideout, versatile in short yards. You can pretty much put him, like I said, he could be your X. He could be a slot if he has to. I don't know. I don't think he was fast enough to be an X, but I think he runs good enough routes. Right, Devontae Adams wasn't the fastest, but I like Jeremy Bernard from Alabama or Jeremy Bernard from Alabama. Chris Bell, Louisville. Where y'all got Chris Bell, Louisville? Where's my friend Candy? I don't know. I don't have any candy friends. What do you mean? What, Chris Bell, Louisville, underrated guy that wasn't he hurt? I think he was coming off a damn injury as well. Physical receiver, with a solid frame that I don't, a lot of people have inside their top 10. I think I had them right, right on the edge. Raiders are cheeks. Fourth round? You got Chris Bell in the fourth round with his athleticism? Is it just because of the injury? Damn, fourth round? I mean, I if people have him in the top 10 or even in the top 12, you think he still goes fourth round? You think there's only 12 why keep Max? He's a liability. I mean, I think you have to now. Who's going to take him? If nobody's willing to trade for him, there's nothing you can do. You can't just. You could do what Lawrence said and just rip up his contract and say we don't want him because he can't pass a physical. But that would be crazy. So Lawrence has Chris Bell in the fourth round. That's wild. Maybe the injury status might put him there, but I think his skills and this receiver class puts him at least middle third, maybe even early third. It just depends on where the run is. In the second round, if people start saying wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, somebody's gonna jump on that, bro. Somebody's gonna jump on that. I already burnt my. I told you not to burn that jersey. T Menace was good. Was good. All I see was just my opinion. What I miss? It's crazy you burnt your Crosby jersey. Just my opinion. I already burnt my jersey. No lie, I love Max, but I'd rather trade him. It just doesn't feel the same anymore. Yo, I mean, it's never gonna feel the same. Like I said, it's it's like once you break up with somebody and then you get back together, it's never the same. It's never the same. Once a relationship is severed, it just to make it the same would be a miracle, right? Would be a miracle. You were so hyped that Max was gone, you burnt his jersey. That's messed up, bro. That's messed up. I told you, man. I try to tell you. So, anyways, Chris Bell is on this list. They got him at 10. I'm just looking at the top 15 receivers, and then I'll give you uh, mine 2.0 because my list is over there, and then I'll go get my list and I'll see if they're still the same. So Omar Cooper. Oh no, that's not Omar Cooper. Chris Brazzell, Tennessee, right? A downfield threat with high upside and potential. Well, isn't that what they said about Dante Thornton, who doesn't seem to, he might need some stickum, some back in the day stickum, where you put that shit on your hands and you could just grab the ball, or maybe he needs the rubber gloves that they wear now on the end, so it has the grip. I don't know. I like the kid, and maybe it was the quarterback. I'm hoping it was the quarterback. I'm praying it was the quarterback for Dante Thornton Jr. because we can't afford to waste fourth round picks. But Chris Brazzell, the second out of Tennessee, had a pretty damn good year, right? Had a pretty damn good year. Had a damn good combine. Just a big physical guy that's fast, that can catch. And some people, are just scared on Tennessee receivers. There's something about Tennessee receivers that just don't seem to be what they're supposed to be in the NFL. Next up, and this man has moved crazily, crazy through this draft. Crazy through this draft. On this list, they have my guy out of Notre Dame, Malachi Fields, who I actually have probably at 5, really. I think he's 5 on my list, but we'll get to that. Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame, very productive receiver. Well, had a rookie throwing him the ball right after they lost, after they lost their quarterback. You have CJ Carr throwing him the football, who had a hell of a year, right? But Malachi Fields, I think, is underrated. I think is way underrated. He had put together 2 solid years. He looked solid at the damn combine, right? And again, I have him higher on my list, but they have him at 8. Number 7 is Omar Cooper Jr. Where does Omar Cooper Jr. fall in the draft? I've done a couple mock drafts. I've taken him to the Rams at whatever pick they have, 20, whatever it is, 20. I don't know it. The second pick for the Rams. I've taken him for a couple of other teams. I thought maybe the Raiders, maybe trade back or take him at 14. I don't think they would take a receiver that high. We talked about it last night, but you never know nowadays, right? So Omar Cooper, reliable playmaker, I think has one of the best hands with Elijah Surratt in this draft. I mean, not every ball, I said this a million times, not every ball Mendoza threw was clean. There was a lot that were underthrown. I've seen these guys, maybe it looked like a back shoulder throw and it wasn't, where they're running and all of a sudden, they're looking and they're completely stopping and turning back the other way and coming back to the ball. Like 1 or 2 steps, that's coming back to the ball to me. That's not a over the shoulder throw, right? Over the shoulder throw is you're catching it back shoulder, right? You're not coming back to the ball. So I've seen a lot of throws like that from Mendoza where these guys, no matter what, they were catching the ball. And Omar Cooper, we've talked about it all season long. I thought he was a first round. I'll be surprised if he's not a first round pick. And then a guy from Georgia that was slept on, I feel like, Zachariah Branch. I feel like that's a perfect pick for the Raiders. But then you look and they're like, man, he's what, 5'10"? You have Trey Tucker. You just went and got Jalen Nails. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's that pick anymore, or if the Raiders trade some players or move on from some players. But I like Zachariah Branch. I've liked Zachariah Branch. I had him, I think, 8. But this list, this is the same. Somebody's reprovisioned list. They have him at 6, man. At 6, I think is crazy. But who knows? And if they have Zachariah Branch at 6, if that works out like that, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, Denzel Boston, Makai Lemon, Casey Concepcion, Zach Branch, and Omar Cooper, and Malachi Fields in the first round. Could that happen? Could that happen? You have one quarterback. There's not going to be 7 quarterbacks. Is there a chance where there's 7 or 8 receivers in the first round? There's a lot of teams that need receivers. A lot of teams. You know, if they go early, right? You know, some people are looking at the receivers in this draft and saying maybe there's only 3, maybe there's 4. And a lot of them have them late, like 15, 16, 17. Some have the receivers back to back. Gino gone, but we still pay him for the next 2 years. Yeah, that's horrible. I know. Unless the 49ers get a draft pick, what are we talking about? Crosby get jumped back in from all the fans. Gino gone, Crosby back. Early second all day. I like that. Who do you think we sign? Our corners now. What? Because we still have Gino under contract and Crosby is back on the books. If Crosby's back on the books, it's hard to catch the ball when Gino's throwing it to you with titty oil on it. What else did I miss? All right, I probably missed some of y'all. I appreciate it. Bro, how do you feel? Free agents can sign them. Somebody asked about the corners. Somebody asked about the corners. We went and got one that could play safety and corner. I mean, they still have DeCamarion Richardson in the building, who's a big, fast corner that, that has the arm length. He has the size. You still have Darian Porter Jr. And then we re-signed Stokes. So, I mean, we don't really have to go get a guy. We need probably a couple more, but with DCAM still on the roster, depending on, do they bring back 1 or 2 of these guys in free agency? Like Caillou Blue Kelly, maybe you bring him back. He was already on a cheap deal. I could see that happening. But if Crosby comes back, that it changes a lot. It changes a lot. Changes an awful lot. JSM was in a drafted in a second. Oh. Porter legit second year will be big. I believe so, man. I believe so. I think Darian Porter, only playing 1 year in college at the corner spot and as well as he played for, for a big time school, I think that says a lot. I think that says an awful lot. And if he would have had more playtime, I think this year, we would have seen more progress. But it seemed to me like every time Darian Porter was in the game, he got better, right? He got better in coverage. He's not afraid to tackle. He was a guy that was willing to come up and hit guys when there was guys standing around, watching shit. I seen him on all 22 a bunch of times coming in to make the play. So I like his aggressiveness, his size, his physicality, and he's just going to learn the position with the more opportunities he gets. He's still super green, right? He only played the position 1 year in college. It's hard to transfer from wide receiver to, to playing defensive back and then only doing it 1 year and then going to an NFL. That's a big jump. And I thought for as big of a jump that is, Darian Porter held his own, and then some, and then some. But I thought Dekamarion Richardson did it as well last year. Not last year, but the year before. He didn't play at all last year, except for what, a couple snaps towards the last couple games. Um, Anyways, back to wide receivers. We have Zachariah Branch at 6, Casey Concepcion, explosive playmaker with the elite return skills. And that's why I like Casey Concepcion. It's been such a long damn time since the Raiders have had a kickoff return for a touchdown. It has been so long since we've had a punt return for a touchdown. And it's time, bro. It's time. It's definitely time. So go get an explosive receiver or a corner that can run kickoffs and punt returns, that can get us yardage, that can take one to the house, that can make somebody miss, that can run somebody over, right? Because for me, when you're at a game, you see people jumping up and screaming for touchdowns and field goals, right? But there is no louder, crazier feeling inside a stadium is when somebody starts to break one for a touchdown, a punt return, or a kick return. It's electric. Everybody's standing up screaming, right? If you've been to a game, that shit is crazy. You can't hear nothing. Can't hear yourself think. And all you hear is doom, 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 doom. Everybody's jumping up and down. Even if he gets tackled, right? He ain't even got to run it back. You just got to start to act like you're breaking one for a tackle. And the place goes crazy. So we haven't had that excitement in Raiders in Allegiant Stadium one time. Not once, bro. Not one time. Not one time has there been like, oh shit, he could go all the way, right? Um, and we need that. I think we need that. And guys like Zachariah Branch, who Branch, has that bloodline. If you don't know, go do your homework. KC Concepcion, you know, gives you that presence of being able to run the ball, run the kickoffs, run punt returns, and make highlight plays, right? Highlight plays that's going to get everybody jumping up out of their seat. And I think it's been a long, long time since we've done that. And at 5'11", right, he's up there with those guys I mentioned earlier that aren't the fastest guys in the NFL. That I believe he can hang. I think he can hang. Now he did have some drop issues, but it just all depends on your work ethic, your character, right? How hard you're willing to work. Are you willing to put in the time? Because you can learn not to drop balls, right? Unless you just have small hands. Now, I don't have his combine charts next to me, but if you're 5'11" with 9-inch hands, it might be a problem while you're dropping balls. I don't know. If anybody knows his hand size, y'all could drop it in the comments. I'd appreciate it. KC Concepcion. Next is Makai Lemon, man. Versatile, quick receiver, excels, creates separation, right? Explosive, pretty fast. But 2 years ago, 700 yards wasn't that great. Gets a new quarterback and Jaden Maivia, and he takes off. He takes off, right? But was that due to the quarterback play? For some people, they will say it's all because of the quarterback play. If you're talking about Fernando Mendoza in Indiana and why Omar Cooper was good and why Elijah Surratt was good. But then when you look at other players like Makai Lemon, and yes, his route running is great, man. Yes, he creates separation. He's always open. But you still got to have a damn good quarterback to throw with anticipation, to be, can throw you know, the basket shots deep down the field, right? That could throw on the run. If you don't have that, you don't have the numbers that Makai Lemon put up. So that and the fact that, I don't know, some of those interviews just kind of struck me as a little weird, bro. Just a little weird. So Makai Lemon, I don't know where y'all got him, but he's not in my top 5. And I know some people are going to be like, what? But yeah, he's not in my top 5. Denzel Boston, 6'4", 212 is, I don't know why everybody, uh, not as fast. DK Metcalf. That's what I see, bro. That's what I see. A guy that if he keeps lifting weights, he's gonna have arms bigger than his legs, strong as hell, physical. Wins every 50-50 ball like it's nothing, right? My favorite player, dude, is my favorite player. I didn't watch any Washington games until I was watching some highlights of Denzel Boston, and I see, what, like two games I think that were on TV last year, and I had to go back and just watch them all 22s. Man, I don't know how this kid doesn't get as much love. I really don't. Like I said, you don't have to be the fastest guy in the NFL to be productive, right? There are plenty of guys that were productive in the NFL that weren't, the fastest 40 times, didn't have the best RAS scores, right? Weren't jumping out of the building, weren't explosive, but they were great minds, right? They knew how to study their opponent, how to beat their opponent, their weaknesses, could run good routes, had good hands, smart physical players, right? And Denzel Boston is just all of that, dude. All of that. So I don't know where y'all got Denzel, but very, very high on my list. We'll get to it in a minute. And then, of course, of course, some might say the most polished X receiver in this whole entire draft is Carnell Tate. Where does he go? You know, does somebody take him in the top five? Does he fall out of the top 10? These are big questions. Looking at a lot of draft boards, I don't think anybody has a clue. Usually, a lot of people have, certain players in the same range within, inside the top 10, outside the top 15. He's all over the place, man. He's all over the place. Just, I don't know. I don't know. Receivers are going to be weird this year. I feel like it's hit or miss. You're looking at defense, right? You could look at the linebackers. Do some linebackers sneak up into the first round? You can look at some corners, right? Does Hood sneak up into the first round, right? Do some of these guys that Avion Terrell, right? Some of these guys that, were just on the border of second or first round, do they hop back into the first because Brandon Cisse, right? Do these guys make the first round? It wouldn't shock me if there's five corners taken in the first round and seven or eight receivers. That's 15 damn players, right? Because how many offensive linemen are there? There could be two. There could be five. There could be somewhere in there, right? Guards, one, maybe two taken in the first round. How many positions are left? Safety, what, one or two? I mean, somebody's going to have to take somebody, right, in this draft. And I think wide receiver has to be the sneakiest, right? Wide receiver, defensive end. How many defensive ends sneak up? TJ Parker, Cassius Howe. Do they sneak up into the first round? I mean, where do these guys go? Where do these guys go? There's so much talk. Some people have Keldrick Falk 32. Some people have them in the top 10. Some people have them top 15. Where do y'all got these guys? Any of these guys I just mentioned? My son told me that Bam Adeo had 83 points. What? Who does he think he is? Kobe Bryant? What? 83? You dropped 83 on him? I read that earlier, but I just kind of skipped through it. But damn, that's crazy, bro. I hope they give Richardson a real shot this year. Richardson, DCAM. I hope they do too, man. Just a wasted year for him playing special teams. Just looked like he lost interest and didn't want to be out there. And it looked like a lot of players, they didn't give up, but they just didn't look like they wanted to be a part of what Pete Carroll was trying to put together in Vegas. And he was a dude that was on the rise, right? Like his rookie year, you know, he went from missing tackles to not being able to cover to a guy that, you know, having pass deflections that people aren't throwing his way. And just like the offensive line, he got totally, you know, totally out of the mix. Totally out of the mix. So yeah, Cardinal Tate and Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson, high end receiver, known for strong ball skills. Woo-hoo, pause. Um, and yak ability. Um, but the injuries, though, the injuries, man. Where does he go? Where does he go? Go donkeys. Let's go salute my guy. It means Max will be a Seahawk. Seahawks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What about our safeties? Our safeties. The Raiders are looking at a couple safeties in this draft, from what I hear, and one possibly third round. But with the way these picks are getting scrambled around, it it might change some things. It might change some things. Might change some things. And the Raiders still had plans for free agency. They still need a backup quarterback. They need a backup running back. They need a defensive tackle. They need a true nose guard. Can JJ Pegues be that guy? That's He didn't even get on the field, but what, 3 games? He probably played less than 50 snaps last year. I don't think you can ask JJ Pegues to go from 50 snaps, one more training camp, and with a brand new head defensive coordinator, and ask this man to go out there and play nose. Now, can he do it? I believe so, but the possibility of him playing at a high level, man, I just don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, but Zachariah Branch, man, and Makai Lemon though. Makai Lemon at least is 5'11", 192. But Zachariah Branch, that 5'9", 177. That's scary. That's like Trey Tucker. So I don't know where these guys go, but I'm gonna run really quick. My top 10 out of this is going to be, mine is, I don't know. I don't know. Let's mix it way up. Let's start at 10. Let's start at 10. Number 10 on my list, I would have to go with, I think Ted Hurst. I'm gonna go Ted Hurst, Elijah Surratt. That's 8. I need bigger receivers. Bigger receivers. Jeremy Bernard. Wait, that's Elijah Surratt. Yeah, Jeremy Bernard. I'll throw 6 is going to be Zachariah Branch. Then I got Malachi Fields, Omar Cooper, Casey Concepcion, Jordan Tyson, Malachi, Cornell, and Denzel Boston. I still got Denzel Boston as my number one. I can't take him off there. I really don't. I can't. I think production wise, a guy that's gonna be that, Mike Evans. I'm gonna give you 1,000 yards every single season, right? Just he could be number two. He could be a number one. If he goes on a team that already has a number one, Denzel Boston is freaky nasty good. I was thinking possibly the Steelers, but they just went out and got a receiver. So this offseason is wild as. I agree, man. What about Raiders cap space? Raiders cap space again for the 100th time um, was at 62 million last time I checked. According to some people and according to some other people, which we never know, there were two deals that were not done yet. Nakobe Dean was not on the books, and um, Naylor. So Nakobe Dean and Naylor are no Nakobe Dean and the Gino Smith. Nakobe and the Geno Smith were not accounted for yet. Somehow, that's what I heard. So those two deals, are still not on there, which would put us somewhere at like 50. If that's the case, Max takes 30 of it. That puts us at 20. 15 for rookies in the draft leaves us with five. So we need a defensive tackle. We need probably another linebacker or two. We need a corner. We need a safety. We got, Jalen Johnson. I think that's a good pickup. We don't have to go crazy with those. I don't think we have to go crazy. But the one thing we have to go crazy with is we have 61 players out of 90 that we need for camp. They bring in 90 guys. We have to have money to pay those 90 guys. We have 61. That leaves whatever I said, 29? Um, yeah, 29. 29 guys that we have to somehow sign with $5 million if Crosby comes back. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know. So that's the cap space. Not if Max draft is the first round pick from San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers they can come get him. A first round and a first round next year. 49ers can have him, right? Other than that, it doesn't sound like the Raiders are moving him. The Broncos got nothing on San Francisco 49ers. Everybody has everything on the San Francisco 49ers. What do you mean, bro? What do you mean? All right, man. Hour and a half. That's the news. MAXX CROSBY has been traded to the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens decided they got webbed feet in a situation, and they flocked the whole deal up. So shout out to the Flock Nation. Fucking can't believe he ever said that. But now he's got to come back home, posting pictures of on a Learjet on the way home, back to Vegas. So we don't know, man. We don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. Bro, Raiders protecting the quarterback. Yeah, I mean, he's protected. He's protected. I don't see how maybe the right guard, right tackle position. But if DJ Glaze can't hold it down during camp in the beginning of the season, look for Charles Grant to play on the right side if the Raiders don't have money to spend. But they still have 10 draft picks. Somebody's going to play that right side. And I think we'll be all right, man. I think we'll be all right. We can go. Um, let's see. We got 10 draft picks. That would put us at 71 players. Jesus. They would have to. This ain't good, bro. This ain't good. This ain't good. We have 62 players with Crosby coming back. We draft 10. That puts us at 72. We still got to come up with 18 players to fill out a 90-man roster. You're not drafting 18 UDFAs. Now, you might draft another 7, 10, right? So I don't know how it came to this, bro. I don't know how it came to this. Stay tuned. I'll keep you informed. Any information I know, you will know. I will post it on X. I will post it on something. So follow me, RaidersRebel _ on X. My email. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on everything. Y'all know where to find me, how to get a hold of me. How do you feel about Crosby being back? I feel like it's a sticky situation, and I don't know. Stay tuned, because I don't have all the answers. I'm just a fan. I just bleed silver and black like y'all. That's all. But as soon as the little birdie gets in my ear, lets me know what's going on and what the word is, y'all will know. You'll probably already know. But appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Love y'all. Protect your mind, yourself, your body, and your family. And always go Raiders. Peace. Much love, y'all. Go Raiders.